Hi, my name is Tarun Anand. I'm the founder and Chancellor of Universal AI University, India's first AI university, where we are committed to making a huge impact in the lives of the country, in the lives of the global world, and using artificial intelligence, we want to transform our nation.
Could you share some details about your professional journey?
I started my career in the corporate world in banking and financial services, where I was a banker for many years with HSBC and Standard Chartered Bank. Then I moved to head treasury operations for Reuters. With Reuters, I moved to London for 3 years, where I was head of UK treasury business. And then I moved to New York, where I was global CEO for the treasury business, which was roughly a $2 billion business spread over 136 countries. So got to, travel the world and understand the business and setting up businesses across multiple continents. Then I moved to Hong Kong, where I was CEO for Asia Pacific. And I came back to India as chairman and managing director of Thomson Reuters. So a hardcore corporate journey. I did my MBA from SPGen, Institute of Management and Research, and then I moved on to do further education in Tuck Business School in the United States, Michigan Business School in the United States, and IE Business School in Spain. So I understood the various education practices in 3 continents, and that all inspired me to set up Universal Business School, which was a global-oriented business school with partnerships with countries in 6 different nations, from US to Europe, France, UK, Spain, Italy, Switzerland, and so on. So we created a global platform where we attracted students from 27 states in India, and then we further got students from 20 countries coming to India to study at our campus. Then we realized that business education was doing very well, but the world is moving towards multidisciplinary education, and that was the how we created Universal AI University, India's first AI university. Because the world is changing dramatically in the world of artificial intelligence, we felt that it's very important that our students and the country and the nation needs to have all the skill sets to be able to get an advantage over other countries and other students, and to make sure that they are ready for the new careers of the future. And that's when we established Universal AI University this year in 2023. I'm the Chancellor of the university, also have the privilege of running a fantastic institution.
Could you share some detailed insights into the UAiU mission and vision?
So we are, very proud of our background of being India's first green business school. So sustainability for us is a very, very huge challenge out there, which we need to, as a nation, as a world, solve. Then you have artificial intelligence, which is a tool. And then you have what I call the innovation or the entrepreneurship, which will create jobs. And if we put these 3 together, I think it's the golden triumvirate, that if we can use entrepreneurs can use artificial intelligence to solve the biggest challenges of the world, whether it's climate change today, social upliftment. I think that is the broad spectrum of where we are wanting to play and teach the new generation. As a university, we have multiple schools. We have the business school. We have the School of Future Technologies and Artificial Intelligence. We have the School of Liberal Arts and Humanities. We are now going to set up a law school. We are setting up a design school, a sports sciences school. We are even thinking of going into fine arts, so a music sound engineering school. And so the sky is the limit, because I think all these things have a great interplay. Our faculty is truly our biggest asset in the technology and the business schools, which we have done very well. We have the best faculty from industry. We are also tying up with a $10 billion organization who's going to literally draft every line of our curriculum, ensure the delivery of the highest standards, because we want to keep the highest standards. We have international accreditation, so we are on the path to become a AACSB accredited school. Of course, we have the National Board of Accreditation, but we say we want to set the benchmark high. We have partnerships with global universities, which ensure that like Cardiff Met, which was the #1 UK university in 2021. We have a partnership with Northeastern Illinois University in Chicago, a 150-year-old AACSB accredited institution. We have a partnership with Lincoln University in San Francisco, which is again a 100-year-old university. We have a partnership with INSIC, which is an AMBA accredited school in Paris. We have a partnership with another University of Economics, 100-year-old school in heart of Europe, in Varna. We have a partnership with Salamanca University in Spain, which is an 800-year-old university, the 4th oldest university in the world. So we got a great background of working with some of the best institutions in the world. And my faculty obviously has to marry American, British, French, Spanish, Swiss, Italian education systems. So they are obviously learning and delivering a high quality. We've always been, my background being from industry, I always say when you are delivering a product, you should have consumed it, right? When you deliver a product, you should have consumed it yourself. And I've been a consumer, so I have recruited from SP Jain Institute of Management Research, my alma mater, from the IIMs. I've recruited from Columbia's business school. I've recruited from Cornell when I was in Wall Street. So when you're on the other side, you know what the other side needs, and so you produce it. Whereas some of the institutions don't have that luxury of being a corporate, right? If you're a purely academic institution, you run with that DNA. I feel it's refreshing that the professional approach that I've learned working for multinationals, we can bring that into the institution. So those are some of the unique aspects of us. I think the big plus point for us is that how do we impact the society and the environment? I keep coming back to these two themes. And I think that's the raison d'etre, which is the reason of our existence, is that whilst we teach the students, they need to go out there and they'll be the transforming agents out there to make the impact on the industry through technology, through these practices. And so that's what I'm very proud of, that we are, whether it's solar energy, we were 70% of our energy requirements were coming from solar power. We have rainwater harvesting, waste recycling. When we got onto this 40 acres land, there was not a single tree. It was a barren land because the waterfalls which come in had washed the complete soil. We've planted 7,000 trees, right, in this environment. So we keep looking. We've got electric cars, EVs. We are saying everything we can do to be a sustainable institution so that our students imbibe it and they go out into the world and look for better solutions. On social impact, my students spend 40,000 hours a year in the villages of Karjat, where they actually go and make a transformation on various aspects. So that's in a sense what we've done. We became the first institution to come out with an ESG report, business school. And our second report is out. It's like a leap found that American universities are saying, can we have your copy, and we'd like to see what you're doing and how we can replicate it. So we feel good that we are setting a benchmark in sustainability, in social practice. On the governance side, another very interesting thing is we have 50% of my leadership are all women, right? And so we are very clear, I'm trying to move the needle to 60%. We are at 52, 54%. So, but that's great. That's another refreshing aspect. 44% of the students on our campus are women. That's one of the highest in business schools and universities in the country. So we feel very good that we can attract students from so many states, 27 states, 20 countries have studied here. Our alums are now working in 30 countries at leadership positions. So I think that DNA is of universal from the outset. We have a universal outlook. Let's get the best that the world has in India. Why should a student from India want to go abroad when you can get global, recognition, global degrees, global academic learning, global faculty in Mumbai? Right? Why do you need to go abroad and spend 15 lakhs when you can do it in 4 lakhs? Right? And it's not 15 lakhs, it's actually 30 lakhs, because if you put the cost of living, that's 30 lakhs instead of 5 lakhs. Just doesn't make sense, right? Why do you want to do that? So our role is to become a international, attractive place for students to come study, have the ability to interact with faculty from around the world, have the ability to have students from around the world. We also have set up an office in Dubai So we're going to get a lot of students coming from the Gulf region and then keep moving beyond.
Tell us more about the UAiU and your vision for the university.
It was interesting when I was in Wall Street, when I was working in Wall Street and in Chicago, where the biggest hedge funds in the world are, trading currencies, stock markets and bond markets. And that was my first introduction to algorithmic trading, low latency trading, where these traders would be doing $2 billion a day trading by just pressing a button. And the algorithms had already mapped out all the various methods in which the trading should happen. It was fascinating to see, right? This is back in 2006, I'm talking about, when I first got this entire opportunity to witness algorithmic trading. And that is essentially the base of artificial intelligence, where you have data, you have various scenarios, and how do you make that data, look at those scenarios and then predict what should be, with similar data coming out in the future, what would be the scenarios coming out. So in 2018, I met some amazing scientists from Stanford, MIT, and they opened my eyes to the world of AI. And we applied in 2018 for the university, and we should have got it in 2019. So it's quite interesting that we were 5 years ahead of the game in terms of understanding the power of this force. And that's what brought us to this conclusion that we need to have every stream, whether you're a pure tech person, a tech student who wants to build a career in technology and future technologies, then of course that is one of the poles that you have available to study that in a deep tech environment. We were obviously a business school, so that was another area of business where we knew that every company, right, in the world is now leveraging the technology to leapfrog their competitors, become more effective, saving time. So these are some of the benefits which the business world has said. So we said, okay, business we understand, technology we understand. Why can't we have every other field of education, whether it's law? How can law be transformed with technology? How can liberal arts be transformed? How could that psychology student use artificial intelligence? How could we take that further into the world of sports? And how could sports be accentuated with AI? So we said that we will have a layer of AI running through all our programs. So whether you're a business student, a law student, a design student, a liberal arts student, a sports student, doesn't matter which field you are, you need to be armed yourself with the basic understanding of what artificial intelligence can do. And how do you do that? You understand the tools that are available, you get to play on the data and actually make that work. And you also have an entire world where you are experiencing the projects that the students can do in their respective fields. So year one, they understand the basics. In the final year, they will actually be implementing the AI in their field. So I thought that would be a fantastic way of hands-on. So we created a quantum computing lab, we created an AR, VR, MR lab, we created an IoT lab. So we said, let's give them the tools, let's give them the environment where they can innovate for the industry while they are here, or innovate to create new business and new business ideas. So the incubation center came out around it. And so that's really the essence of the long-term vision, that every student, whichever industry, whichever field they are going into, they should be armed with the power of AI. People say you might lose your job because of AI. I say, before you lose your job in AI, which is very far off in the future, someone with AI will take your job. So you need to be armed yourself. It's a new tiger, you got to learn to ride it. And like when electricity was born or the steam engine came in, huge world change. It's imperative for every one of us to understand this technology, to learn how to use it, to learn how to derive benefits and become smarter, more effective, more efficient, and more productive.
What is the future of artificial intelligence?
Age of AI is upon us, and I am confident that it's going to unleash a different level of innovation, which will unleash a tsunami of jobs. There will be new business models being created thanks to AI and its application. That is the fundamental basis. Now, how do you take that to the next level? India as a superpower, and every country there's a race for knowing and developing more applications on AI. India has a very strong IT base, and we've been very blessed with the decisions taken a couple of decades ago that it's an IT hub, right? So the fundamentals are there. We have the largest number of technical engineers out here, BTechs. So I think this is a great base that we have. Foundation has been set. So we can really fuel the innovation, fuel the new product developments, which will take the West a little longer. They are ahead of the curve, but we can catch up because AI essentially is a level playing field. What does AI do? It takes tons of data and processes it at lightning speed. And once you have those servers which you can use, you will have the ability to churn that data and actually derive predictive value out of that data. And that's what. So let's put it in a layman's term. I'm a psychologist or a psychiatrist. I get patients every day walking into my office, thousands of them or hundreds of them in a year. What do? I look at the patient, ask for their data, their basics, where they come from, what are their demographics, what's the environment that they're a single parent family, all those things. And then on the basis of that, I say, okay, you're feeling these symptoms. These are my suggested ways of getting out of depression, if that's the case that you're going through. Now, that's what you do it day in, day out. There are different variables and you try a few tricks. I'm saying that with the advent of AI, when you enter, the AI model would have already taken all your data. They know your background. They also know the predictive value that if this treatment is applied on you, these would be the benefits of it. So it will suggest to the doctor or the patient, to the psychologist that, hey, you need to try these 3 things. So what I'm trying to say, you still have a guy who's the person who's going to take the final call, but the AI engine will predict and suggest. Now, as more data is pumped in, maybe in the first year you might be 4 out of 10, which is not good. But as you pump in more patients, more data, the AI gets intelligent, it starts learning, which is called the whole machine learning, deep learning. And then the AI will get to an 8 or a 9, like the AI machine beat Garry Kasparov, right, in chess. It got better and it got better. So similarly, you will get better and better. So it will really become a huge tool. And I always see this, that, the whole perspective of generative AI is moving in the direction of making us smarter, essentially. Where we used to take 5 days or maybe 5 weeks to create some data of research, today you can do it in 30 seconds. That's the transformative power.
Can AI become self-sufficient?
I'm certainly, whatever I know of this, I'm certain that will not happen. We human beings have been evolved over many generations and thousands of years, so we'll get a step ahead. I know we see this in movies, that these robots can make and start attacking human beings. Finally, who's making that robot? It's a human being, right? So as long as we keep the checks and balances, I think we'll be one step ahead.
Do you think artificial intelligence will take over human capabilities?
Like all the gurus of AI are saying, they don't know. I would, preface is that what happens maybe 30 years or 50 years of computational power, nobody knows, because it's moving at an exponential state. I still do believe that what sets us apart, there's artificial intelligence and there's human intelligence. But the intelligence part might and will get, replaced by the AI, artificial intelligence. But the human part, what is it of being a human being? What are the qualities? What are the emotional values? What are the, empathy, the service levels? These are things which you cannot and ever replicate. And it's going to take a million years of evolution to get to that point. So I'm pretty confident, in the next 30 years to 50 years, it's going to make us better, more productive, which is clear. You remember the calculator? We used to have, if you had to calculate 9 times 9 digits, you on paper used to be doing it. Now you just put it and in a second the answer is. So that's where I think AI is. It's been overhyped in terms of its destructive value. Yes, it will have the ability to use other tools like the metaverse or the social media to spread negativity, but it can be used to spread positivity as well, right? There's a positive to the nuclear bomb, there's a positive and there's a huge negative. So we need to basically check the negatives and regulations need to come in to check those negatives. So one of the biggest negatives I would say is, which is you hear stories around the world where AI is doing, is that you don't know when you are actually interacting with AI. So if there's a call comes from, sounds like your dad or mom, and they scream, you will fall for it. So the regulation needs to be very clear, state that we are talking to an AI. So you need to be full disclosure. So when you know, okay, I'm in the machine, now AI is responding, not you. Then you're like, okay, now I know there's a machine which is doing it. Similarly, if I'm interacting on any platform, I need to know disclosure, full disclosure of AI. I'm interacting with AI. So if we can do that itself, a large part of the ills will go away because you are mentally prepared for that. It's not like a surprise. So I think we can manage that. So I'm very confident and I'm very bullish about the powers of AI. And I believe that it can have a transformational impact to India, and we will have a upkick to our economy, GDP growth by maybe 2%. There's no science behind it, so please take it with a pinch of salt. But I do believe that the productivity gains are going to far outweigh negative potential of this technology. So I'm a big believer in this.
What are your thoughts on humans regulating artificial intelligence? Positive or negative impact?
Yeah, so absolutely, we need to look at the negative. It's evident what negativity can happen, so there should be regulations which come. Of course, these big, large giants of the world it's going to be a haves and have-nots world, and they've got better with the kind of computing power, the kind of control. They themselves are trying to push for regulation. So it's all working in the right direction. We have to make sure that the non-state actors don't have access to it. Again, you need hundreds of millions of dollars of capital to be able to use this technology. You know, that guy sitting in a faraway country trying to mess with you is not going to be possible because these regulations will kick in. So I think we build the protective elements, leverage the good, and become a more human society. I think that's where I tell all my students, you know, your humanness, your kindness, these are things which are going to be on premium. How you deal with people, right? AI doesn't know how to deal with people. You know, how do you get work done out of people? How do you work in teams? These are going to become such a premium value. So whilst we teach AI, you've got to be teaching these human values and skill development. So we have setting up a center of excellence on social impact, sustainability, and spirituality, right? The wisdom that you need to have, that how can you make a good impact on society. And I think when you arm high-tech people with this rounding aspect, I think that's going to be the game changer.